call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Spears? Here. Mr. Bannock? Mr. Brown?
Yo.
Mr. Chauncey?
Here.
Ms. Kroll?
Here.
Mr. Custer?
Here.
Mr. Johnston?
Here.
Mr. Staborski?
Here.
Mr. Valesky? Okay.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get into the committee of the whole work session. You have a student here tonight? Okay. There's a student update here. Our PAEA representative, yeah, you're giving that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good evening, citizens, administrators, board members, and students of PENNCREST. My name is Tina Walsh, and I am speaking on behalf of the teachers and educational specialists of our school district. I am also representing Debbie Miller, our PAEA president, as she is alongside many of our Cambridge Springs community cheering on the Lady Blue Devil softball team at the Western Finals in Slippery Rock going on right now, with only one rain delay so far. You see, that is the way we are in PENNCREST. 3 tightly knit communities with small numbers, but with enough pride and commitment to equal an area much larger than ourselves. That is the gem of PENNCREST, collectively offers families. 3 small towns with unique identities and needs. It is this small community atmosphere that is sought after. In a recent discussion with a notable real estate broker spanning Erie and Crawford counties, they specifically noted that sales in the Cambridge Springs area leading the other towns in the 2 counties by 5 to 10% in asking price, and often resulting in bidding wars, raising the sale prices anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 over asking price. And who are the buyers? They are young couples with families who want to raise their children in our communities. I am relatively certain that Maplewood and Sagertown would be close to that same standard if I asked as well. So why do I point this out? Well, first of all, the schools are turning back the corners to our previous notability of being outstanding for children. We're making the news like Cambridge Springs High School did in the U.S. News and World Report for best high schools in America. Despite the reduced focus on education at the federal level, PENNCREST is vowing to budget for quality programs for its students. While we've seen some negative news about closing schools, the message from the majority is that these schools, each unique, offer value that is sought after by families for their children. My hope is that we will keep this ball rolling into the next school year on this positive trajectory. We will continue to rise as a desired place for kids to grow up and learn in, as a place that turns out the best students for successes in their future and in ours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On to the business manager and myself have a couple reports. Beck, are you ready to go over the final budget numbers?
All right, you'll see on the agenda tonight, we have the final budget to be approved. We went ahead and factored in attrition savings there of $63,260, so we went ahead and brought the expenditure number down to $58,506,869, and with a deficit of $462,187. And as always, we will continue to look through the budget diligently to find any savings, and we still have not heard from the state. We finally got some title numbers today, right before the meeting, so that shows you how timely it is. We have to have our budget approved before we get final revenue numbers from the state and federal level. Any other discussion?
Questions?
When I research similar districts, again, I always like to look at districts similar to PENNCREST. Too often we look within the county, or we just do the state. Excuse me, we just do the state. We're in far better shape. So thank you for the work that you did this spring. We're in much, much better shape than many other districts, given even the funding formula that we're kind of up against. So this is good news.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, since I've been on the board, this has been one of the nicest years to do this task. So thank you to all you guys for working so hard. And just goes to show, if our politicians would pass the bill for the cyber and charter reform, we'd be in great shape. So, I mean, there's $800,000 that we'd be in the black,
We'd have a surplus.
which would be awesome. So, keep hounding our local politicians to support our school system instead of bashing it, and do what's right.
I'd like to also thank Kristen and her team. I'd also like to reach out to all of our employees, because when you build a budget, it's everyone. It's just not administration. We've gone line item through line item multiple times, and I'd like to thank all of our departments, our teachers. Everybody feels that, but what we've done, I believe, very, very well this year is we've kept those budgets eliminations out here away from students, and here we've kept that. So I'm really proud of the team. I'm proud of everybody though in the district, because it really takes everyone. So so thank you for that. All right, on to some news on the solar project. We had talked about this right when I came here. We had talked about looking at ways to increase income and revenue for the district. So we started looking at that. Like I said, it was last summer when we first discussed it. We got a little more into it in the fall. Then we had the opportunity to apply for the solar project, in which we did. And we've just gotten word that we have received a grant for the solar project. And Kristen, you want to give those numbers?
Sure. So yes, we just received word that we received $336,960 in the solar grant. It was awarded up to $500,000, so that is the amount that we applied for and were awarded. It has to be used within 3 years, so we have time to decide if we would like to use that, but we do have to accept the grant within 45 days. So we need your direction. Again, this is a revenue source that we've been looking into. So we need your direction if you'd like to accept the grant. Going briefly into the solar project that we looked at, it was up here at Secretary High School. There is a cost outlay to get those solar panels of about $2.7 million. And then if you take off the tax credits, which now are we are unsure. We don't know what those tax credits are going to be. It's supposed to be 40% of the project, but now it's coming out that they may lower these amounts. So it's really hard to give an actual value on how much it's going to cost us and how much revenue we're going to get back with the rebates and the SRECs and that. But we're probably looking, even after all of the incentives and rebates, we're still looking at a cash lay about $1.2 million probably. The return on investment is approximately 5 years is what they're estimating. So we just need your direction, discussion. How would you like to proceed? Would you like us to have a representative come in August and give a presentation on the solar and go from there? And then have us accept the grant. Again, we have 45 days to accept. If we do not use that within 3 years, it goes back to the state. This is a DECD grant.
So there's no penalties or anything if we
There's
don't
no penalties, we're just out, I mean, we had the $100 fee to apply for
Well, yeah.
the grant, so that's all we would be out.
Well, I think it'd be crazy not to take it. And personally, I would love to see a representative or two come in August and discuss the options that we have. And what, give us a more firm payback period. What's the incentive to do it? How can we utilize it in our system? Can we use it in our parking lot? Can we use it on roofs?
you know, what's best and is there a way that we can make some revenue from this in the future? So that's my personal opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
Everybody shaking their head, yes? Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll move forward and we'll make sure we get the experts up here to talk about it in August. Okay? Thank you. Departmental reports. Mrs. Feely, Education.
Sure, I have typical items on the agenda for approval this month. We have annual agreements with Perseus House and Parkside. We have a 2-year agreement for Mystery Science in K through 3. We don't have a current science resource for our K through 3 students because it's been embedded practice. So with the new STEEL standards coming on, we had our teachers this year pilot Mystery Science. We got a lot of positive feedback. It aligns very nicely with STEELs, and it's a pretty reasonable cost for our students in K through 3 and our teachers to use as a resource. So we're pretty excited to have that option available. Or the Renaissance Star Benchmark Test, that's the test that we give our students in K through 6 for reading and math. We do that 3 times a year. It helps us to determine what interventions our students need and what progress we're making as we approach PSSA tests. We have affiliation agreements for dual enrollment at Penn West. Each month we've been bringing you more and more dual enrollment options. We're really trying to increase those opportunities for our students and the availability for them to earn some credits. Summer Meals Program, PENNCREST will again offer meals to anyone living in the district. Actually under the age of 18 is eligible whether they attend our public schools or not. There's we did a blast out on Facebook, and each building sent it out, you can sign up, and they give you breakfast and lunch every day for 5 days. So we have, Wednesday is our first day of distribution of Sun Meals. Cambridge has 130 students, Maplewood 128, and Sagertown 160 that have signed up for a total of 418 students, which will be 4,180 meals that we will distribute this week to PENNCREST residents. And I think that's phenomenal for our community. And there's a weekly sign up for that. So if you didn't get signed up for it this time, it's not too late. You can get on and register for the following week. Every Wednesday, we're distributing meals from 1 to 3 at the 3 attendance areas. So.
No, I had which I think this is awesome. But I had a few people ask me, how's this being paid for?
So we qualify to, because of our rural schools and our free and reduced population, it is paid for outside of our coffers.
So there's really no additional
no
cost to us.
There's a little bit of work on our end,
Right.
with distribution and getting that out. But we've asked for some community support. I know we have some NHS members helping at the attendance areas with food distribution, volunteers helping our staff. But
Good.
yeah, it's very exciting and a wonderful program.
Well, that's good, because that's what I told people. I hope that's right.
I think we're right. We have the access agreement on there. It's an annual agreement we sign so that we can go through that school-based access program and bill for those services that we provide to children. The other item on the agenda is an agreement for Benergy, and Ben is a gentleman with autism who tells his story, and it's a very uplifting, positive story, and we would like to bring Ben in on opening day. It would actually be a great opportunity for our staff, so we're excited to be able to bring him in and tell his story and kind of launch our year in a positive focus. The other
And
thing,
we're partnering
with Crawford Central, yes, so he'll come and do both districts.
Good.
I also wanted to, just for information purposes, we had 7 students from Maplewood High School participate in the Pitt Titusville Basic Machining and CNC Operations Program. They received 6 Pitt University credits. They all completed the program, were offered full-time employment. They had a ceremony for them on last Friday that I attended. It was fantastic. So we're hoping to be able to open that up to more students moving forward into the next year.
Very good.
And as Kristen alluded to, with about 4 o'clock today, we got our federal allocation for this year, and it is down about $33,144 from last year, and that's Title I is down $22,746, Title II is down $4,991, and Title IV is down $5,407. So that's where we're at. Any questions? That's all I have.
Facilities, transportation.
All right, so on the agenda tonight, you'll see a couple things that you guys will be presented. One of them is the electric supply agreement. If you remember back in February, the board approved purchasing of electrical supply with Dynegy, which was formerly Energy Harbor, at a fixed rate of either 14 or 26 months when it was advantageous. Kristen and myself have been, watching those rates weekly. We've been getting updates from our representative, and they've dipped to the lowest point since February to where we felt comfortable executing the agreement. We've been operating month to month since March, so we locked in a 14-month agreement that would be retroactive back to March, so it will be from now until March of 2026, and we're hoping those rates would improve a year from now. So it is a 3.8 cent kilowatt higher rate than the previous contract, but it's the best rate that we've seen to date. Additionally, we put our garbage and refuse contract out to bid. We only got one bid back on the contract, but it was by our current provider, Waste Management, and it actually was at a 38% reduction over our current contract. So you'll see that up tonight. Actually, it would be a net out annual savings to the district of about $34,000. So we're really, really happy to hear that. There's some competition moving into the market on the waste side, so all of the providers have sharpened their pencils on their rates. So. Lastly, you'll see on the agenda tonight for facilities is the subcontracting of our water operating here at Sagertown and then also at Maplewood. Due to a number of factors, most notably we had a retirement within the district and then also an employee leave the district for another position. I'm currently in classes for my water licensing, and we have a gentleman that'll be on the agenda to get approved tonight as a maintenance manager that has a wastewater operator license and will be going to get a water certification. But currently we're without any active employee that's licensed, so we're looking to enter into a month-to-month service agreement with Book and Proch, very reputable company. They do the Cache School District, their water system. So it's a temporary measure to keep us in compliance with DEP and help take care of some of our water issues until we have fully certified operators in the district. So that's all I have.
Questions? Thank you, Richard. Financial, Kristen.
Okay, you'll see the traditional reports on there every month for the disbursements. There's a couple budget transfers on there. You'll see for the tuition coming out of the reserves and the substitutes, a couple building transfers. You'll see that we have roughly $9.5 million left as of the end of May on our current budget. Keep in mind that we have a lot of disbursements going out in June to make sure we get everything in, so that number will be a lot less in July. We're asking for approval on the budget. Again, revenues $59,044,682. Total expenditures $59,506,869 for a total deficit of $462,187. And that is with no tax increase this year. The homestead farmstead, that's an annual agreement. That is a property tax reduction for everyone in our district that is qualified. They will receive approximately $354.99 off of their property as long as they are approved homestead or farmstead. In order to qualify for that, it has to be your primary residence where you vote, pay taxes, and those are sent out. You just have to send it back and you automatically get approved. That's through Act 1 with the state, and that comes from the gambling revenues. So that revenue this year was increased slightly from the state. You'll see the insurance quotes, which again, Every year we do that. We had a total savings on the package of roughly 3.5%. So not much, but every little bit helps. We went to bid for paper. You'll see we're gonna ask for approval to award that to WB Mason. We have a couple lease agreements. This is our pre-K FCCA. They rent some of our spaces. They had 5 classrooms. Their enrollment numbers are down, so they've reduced those to 4. The IU, last month you approved a lease for them. We have been, searching for additional revenue streams. The IU is going to lease 4 additional classrooms from us over here at Sagertown Elementary. So there is additional revenue there that again is not included in this budget because this lease is just being approved today, but there's an additional $12,337. The IU special ed contracts, these are reoccurring every year. You'll see the Bethesda partial, Bethesda residential, Bethesda acute partial, the behavioral contract, and our special ed. But remember, Bethesda is in our district, therefore we have to host those classrooms. We get a 3% fee for hosting from the IU from the other districts that send students to those locations. So it's a pass-through in our budget. And the employee assistance program is on there as well. We didn't have an official document with MMC, so we're just asking approval. It's just a pay by service. If we use it, we'll pay, and we're looking for other options that might be out there for our employee assistance program. Any questions?
Hearing none. Before we get into the meeting, do we have an update on the softball game?
1-0 Union.
Okay. All right, thank you. It's important.
Top of 3.
Top of 3. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. That's an exciting time when you make it this far.
Yeah.
So the kids, the school, everyone's excited. So
And if you get an update during the meeting, just kind of.
Raise your hand.
we're going to transition now into the voting meeting. There was no one signed up for citizens' comments on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on the agenda items?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. Again, my name is Tina Walsh. I live in the borough of Cambridge Springs, and I teach at Cambridge Springs Elementary. And I also recently signed a petition that you have already received a copy of concerning the decision to move school psychologist, Mrs. Brittany Atkins, from the Cambridge Springs attendance area to the Maplewood attendance area. When the teachers at Cambridge came together to discuss the creation of the petition, I have to be honest with you, I was not going to sign it. I thought, what difference does the art teacher make with a school psychologist position? I don't interact with Mrs. Atkins much. I like her, she's a great person, we've had lots of robust conversations, but I don't work with her professionally all that much. However, I did have a discussion with our emotional support classroom teacher, Mr. Tadadio, and he helped me see that I was very wrong in the way I was looking at it. So, in his own words, because he does not live in the district and cannot speak, this is what he convinced me with these words. When a school building has an emotional support program, a therapeutic support program, and services for the deaf and hard of hearing population, it's essential to involve the best people, particularly those who have worked together for a long time. It usually takes 2-3 years for a team to really come together and gel, to learn their roles and to understand how to support not just one another, but the students and the families that represent them. Daily at Cambridge Springs, we encounter cases involving aggression, self-harm statements, intense tantrums, and they all require effective management by multiple staff members. Our team meets daily to adjust behavior plans, change schedules, reassign staff, and analyze data to inform instructional and intervention strategies. Daily. Brittany Atkins plays a crucial role in that process. She's a driving force in parent communication, effectively conveying positive and sometimes negative information with aplomb. Brittany has established strong relationships with the community, staff, parents that help ease the day-to-day chaos. Her connections to county agencies and programs have taken her years to develop. When all 3 programs are housed in one attendance area, in one single school, it's vital to have someone like Mrs. Adkins who can quickly facilitate access to the necessary resources in the county. Over 10 years at Cambridge Elementary, Mrs. Adkins has helped create a crisis team that operates smoothly, even in challenging situations involving very struggling students. Despite Mrs. Adkins' significant contributions, Cambridge Springs continually faces challenges managing crisis plans, paperwork, student safety, and it will take years to recover if you move her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move on, I would like to entertain a motion to change under new business tonight. Under the facilities, where you see the water operator services, the book approach, due to the fact that we have recently got an employee that has the wastewater. We're hopeful that that can be a month-to-month type of contract now, because he's going to be able to go take the test, and he has the 12-month requirement that you have to have in the field. Richard also is working through his water license every Wednesday, and he'll be ready and eligible in January? January. So I'd like to reflect that in the motion, and I'd like to make a motion that this is what it would say. Resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the attached water operator services for Maplewood Elementary and Secondary and Sagertown Elementary and Secondary with book approach incorporated on a month-to-month basis. That cost at Maplewood High School would be $1,188 a month. The cost at Maplewood Elementary School would be $1,188 per month. And the combined cost of Sagertown Elementary School, Sagertown High School would be $1,937.66. Not to exceed $21,568.30. That would be July to November, and we're hopefully confident, and if not, we would come back at that point in time. So that's what I'm proposing and asking to modify that.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
My question I always have, where's the money coming from to pay that?
It's in the budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Sean, can you tell me the 2 numbers for
There you go.
Maplewood?
I got
Okay,
it for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Number 4, approval of minutes. Resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the following minutes. May 12th, 2025 school board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Under policies tonight, we have resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the following policy. Policy 702, gifts, grants, donations.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
So under the policy, resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the attached PENNCREST School District Artificial Intelligent Guidebook.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
I'm just interested in the AI and how the AI is going to help a student gain critical thinking and creativity. Is there any answer to that? How it's going to help us?
Yeah, so
Students?
I use AI often, this is
Okay.
personal matter, for the kids to brainstorm a list of, I've had students actually talk to Harry Truman to discuss whether the use of the atomic bomb was necessary or not, and Harry Truman would respond and using, so it collects data in real time that's already out there that they would research. There is a lot of bad to it, but much like anything, there's also some good too. And teachers are being trained on how to responsibly use it. And if you have conversations in the faculty room, you would have different views on that.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely has its place for students. I mean, they are going to be using AI in the future, right? I mean, yeah, they're using it now. And so it's awesome that we're gonna have a policy that we can hold them to. Because right now, it's anarchy, probably in the schools. Some teachers allow, some don't. So, students use it to compose their emails and so forth. And there's arguments as to why that's bad. I agree, and I agree with those arguments, but there's also good to them as well. But it is a part of their world. And so I think if we can take the first step in teaching them how to properly and responsibly use it, just like we did when the internet came along, right?
Right.
When the internet came along, oh, this is great, but it's also really bad. Or phones or Google Maps, etc. If used properly, and it's still so very early, and we're in the fetal stages of AI. If used properly, I believe that it not only can teach kids, but it can enhance their creativity.
And that, to me, that's the key, if it's used properly.
Yeah,
That's the key.
yeah. In fact,
So
maybe-
the fact that we have to monitor or manage it to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. And hopefully that's what the handbook's gonna take care of for us, right?
That's going to assist. We have the policy, and we put this attachment with the policy, say, our principals work together at a team, and that's exactly, Brian and Randy, why we have it. We want to teach students, and I like Randy's example. I remember when Google came out, right? And we want to teach them what's a good search, how do we utilize this the proper way, because there is a lot of bad. So we're taking a proactive approach to it. Kids, teachers, administrators, we're all using it. Teachers are taking classes and training on it. I'm taking a class this summer on it, because I figure if I'm the educational leader, then I should step up and learn it also. And I'm gonna look and see operationally, can it help us? Can we do anything administrative wise? So that's why we're doing it, Brian, just to try to take a proactive approach.
Right.
I would imagine it's kind of anarchy right now with the students and teachers, and everybody's got their own views on it. Some want to know part of it, others like, this is really cool, let me teach you something. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of where I felt. But yeah, having a policy and then training, and hopefully you get everybody on the same track. I agree, it's very scary.
Well, I would say I'm not against
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's just I want us to be cautious.
Yeah, I wish, I could come up with many other examples. Yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
we need to be cautious.
Well, I can say I played with it a little bit here, just playing with it. And when you brought up critical thinking, you type something out, just take a paragraph on a thought and type it out, then use AI, and it retypes and gives you multiple versions of what you just said. And it's like, oh, wow, I never thought of it like that. Or that makes better sense, or, so it opens up your mind to different ideas in that aspect, in the way I use it. Now, I'm not doing what these guys are doing.
And the importance of a digital literacy class, or a digital citizenship class, maybe is what it's called, is, you teach kids, here's AI, and then you can say, show me where this information came from. So then they're taken to the source, and then they're taught how to evaluate the source, et cetera. And that's pretty high level thinking. If you're asking students to evaluate sources and not just take things, in black and white from what ChatGPT tells them. So done properly, it's actually pretty high level thinking. That's pretty cognitive, that's a high cognitive level, I think, to ask students to do. I'm glad we had, I'm glad we had that conversation, because this was when we opened the policy. I think we had a training, I think even a long time ago we talked about it, and it was just kind of going through. We never actually talked about the policy. I'm like, this is brand new. Can I ask who helped you with the policy? Right.
Dr. Howick at Sagertown, and our other high school principals.
Okay, was there any outside for,
You mean actual
like
reference?
PSBA?
We used there was a document by PSB and PASA, mine, and I gave them. So we tried to use reputable sources that we're already utilizing. And I believe the NEA has come out with something too. So they tried to utilize, I thought that's what they told me, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden, like ChatGPT hit, and everybody was like, oh man, we need it.
Right,
And all these organizations were trying to get something in writing. And, I mean, higher
How
ed
did
is
you
also struggling.
No, Mrs. Henry was involved in that as well.
Okay.
You know, we had gotten some resources from the SAS Institute that helped feed some of that as well.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Number 6, education report. Resolved that the Penncrest Board of School Directors approve the consent agenda for education, items B through I as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Number 7, facilities transportation. Resolved that the Penncrest Board of School Directors approve the consent agenda, facilities and transportation, items B to D.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Just a reminder, that we are utilizing the change that I had earlier there too.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Number 8, the financial report. I'm going to pull out item E for a separate vote. Resolved that the Penncrest Board of School Directors approve the consent agenda, items B through D and F through L as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Resolved that the Penncrest Board of School Directors approve and adopt the final fiscal year general operating fund budget and the annual tax resolution for the 2025-26 school year as listed. Authorize the business manager to prepare the PDE 2028 budget document.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Of course, I'm going to say you guys have done an excellent job. We're better off than we've been ever in history and as far as other districts, but I would still like to say we had an opportunity for the first time to balance the budget, and I think we should have tried to do that. Or from now until when the state money comes in, if we could balance it then, it would be nice. But as it is, and thank you for taking it under 500,000 for the carryover, but I'm still going to say no.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, do a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Spears?
Yes.
Mr. Fenning's absent. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Chauncey?
Yes.
Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
Reverend Custer?
No.
Mr. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Staworski?
Yes.
Mr. Bilski is absent.
Motion
6 to
passed.
1.
Number 9, personnel report. Resolved that the Penncrest Board of School Directors approve the consent agenda, personnel items B through M as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
On personnel, could I add something real quick? Seems how the board is, we're elected officials. Ryan's been missing for a couple meetings, so I asked that maybe the board president and maybe the superintendent reach out and see if everything's okay, and what's his intentions. I mean, he's missed 2 voting meetings now, and I don't want, not going after him or anything, but is everything okay?
Yeah.
You know, is he gonna stay on the board, or, you know?
And he does have the opportunity to call in if he needs to.
Exactly. And I mean, I know his brother, I mean, I know there's things going on, but just if you two could reach out to him
I'll reach out to him.
and just make sure, you know, what's going on, because it's important that he's elected to be here to vote, so.
And he missed graduation as well.
So, like I said, I don't know what's going on, and hopefully nothing bad. So hopefully it's an oversight, and we'll see him next month, but.
Under new business, resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the attached PSBA 2025-26 membership renewal policy maintenance program participation agreement at a cost of $15,010.33.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
No.
Actually, I did have a question, I was trying to get it off real quick, but go ahead.
Keep going.
Well, it's too late, we're already past it, so.
Resolved that the PENNCREST Board of School Directors to authorize the Solicitor's Office to send Carla Sue Brown correspondence pursuant to the Pennsylvania Rule of Civil Procedure 1023.1.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a
I have-
second.
I have
Any
a-
comments or questions?
I have a question. What is, there are other people out there who have cost the district more than this one. So I'm gonna vote for this, yes, but why are we picking and choosing people?
Well, I think the last time we said from now on, any lawsuits that come in that are gonna be pursued, and the solicitor says that has no basis.
Okay.
We are going to start doing this to everybody. This just happens to be the first one since we
Since that
discussed
conversation,
that.
okay.
First
Thank
one
you.
with four.
First one since I've been here.
Okay, thank you.
We need Jordan to weigh in on it.
If you'd like me to, but, I mean,
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, we-
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
This next one is just a notice to the board in accordance with Act 44 of 2018 on June 9th, 2025. The Director of Safety and Security Officer presented to the Board of Directors current safety and security practices that identify strategies to improve school safety and security. So I just wanted to let you know that that took place.
Any other new business?
Yeah, I'd like to bring something up for the board to discuss. Also, more or less, maybe a question for solicitor, if you can provide input, if you want to provide input. There was a citizen initiative out there, which I believe stemmed from the last finance and our community nights. So we had, 3 community nights, one at Cambridge Elementary and one at Sagertown and Maplewood High School, correct? We also had a finance committee, and during those community nights, it was discussed about extracurriculars in athletics specifically. We talked about potential consolidation and even curtailing some of those. I believe that the citizens listened, and they're looking for a way for the board to be set up as a 3-3-3 region amongst the schools for the seats in the coming elections down the road. This would be a referendum that they'd like to put on the ballot to see if the citizens would support such a measure. They think it's fair that if you're gonna start curtailing and consolidating, that at least everybody has a seat at the table. Otherwise, and I agree with this, it looks extremely vindictive. So I guess that would be neighboring districts do it this way. In fact, I believe a lot of our neighboring districts do it this way. They have regions, so I don't know what that looks like. This would be an initial step. I'm just bringing it to the conversation.
Well, and I've been told, and I haven't researched it, but we used to have that.
I think you did.
And I don't know what happened to that, or why it just went away, or what changed. But, like I said, I've had a lot of similar conversations too, that it's just, they're seeing a lot of unbalance happening, and they would like to make sure that each district is representative. So we said we'd bring it up, and as a board, if we have to vote on it, can we vote on it? Is that what we need to do to get it on the ballot? There was a lot of questions.
Yeah,
So-
I think the best thing to do, so it's not uncommon, and this question does come up, you know, the key really is sort of at a high level, just for tonight's purposes, is that you have to work with the local municipalities as well as the county. And there has to be a lot of procedural steps that are taken in order to get it appropriately on the ballot. So the board wants me to look at it. I can talk about it maybe at the next meeting in my solicitor's report, but it's certainly something that I'm happy to look into. I think you're right, Tim. I believe PENNCREST maybe at one point in time had a different setup than the district-wide, you know, setup that you have now for
Yeah.
board seats. So.
Well, I talked to past board members, and they said that it did, but I haven't been able to research it to prove, you know, to make sure, to confirm that, I'll say. Not that they're gonna lie to me, but, you know, I don't know if it just worked out that way, or if there was actually a policy, or if it was what had happened to make that go away, so.
Yeah, I mean, the key, you have to work with your county Bureau of Elections as well.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of steps to it, but it's certainly something I'm happy to talk to the board about. I'll have it available for solicitor's report at the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Any other new business?
Yes, I just wanted to have it put out there for general knowledge that something that we've been working on is reinstating having the valedictorian and salutatorian put back in as policy at PENNCREST. So we've had some work that they're doing and they're checking. I know some people really wanted it to come back and to not be afraid of it and not be afraid of somebody's number one, somebody's number two. We have to give the kids the opportunity to be challenged and to rise above and be able to have that title. Why? I don't want everybody to have a participation trophy, but we are working on that.
Yes, we Mrs. Henry, our coordinator of curriculum, had started, I believe she started with some surveys, and then we've asked her this summer to look into that more fully. And it's probably something, if we wanted to move forward with into the future, we probably would have to start with a 9th grade class, because that way it would be the same.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going back in time.
Right.
So, yes, so we will, at some point this fall, be ready, you know, bring that a little clearer.
Yeah, if we could, especially if we could vote on that
Yeah.
September, October, so we can get going.
Yep,
That'd be awesome.
okay.
I will say, I just attended my granddaughter's graduation down to Seneca Valley. There was almost 600 kids, and they had a salutatorian and valedictorian, but I think the valedictorian got shared because their scores were identical, so. But out of almost 600 kids,
Right.
3 of them got recognized.
Yeah. Well,
I agree. I like obviously the competition, especially when you get into the good classes. I think, and I could be wrong, I think the counter argument is that students actually take harder courses when they don't worry about that. It's not, I think they're now going to go and take that weighted course. But if they're worried about getting that title, then they may not take that course. And so actually by not having it, you're actually challenging the students more by providing that. I believe that's a counter argument. I would like to hear both. That'd be a really good discussion amongst everybody.
Yes.
Another thing that I'm gonna bring up, I was approached after our graduation at Sagertown. I guess there was 2 students that attended our cyber school and didn't get recognized for high honors. So it's, I don't know what we do to look into that, but when the other kids were recognized going through the graduation process,
Right. No,
them 2 got overlooked.
right, I get it.
I'll look into that. We'll look into that. Anything needs to be adjusted, we'll do that. And then we'll make sure going forward.
Any other new business? If not, move on.
Executive session.
Under number 11, announcements. The board did meet for executive session on June 9th, 2025 for personnel, legal matters, and the Act 44 safety and security training.
And you wanted to meet again after this for Vic? Thought you said something like that.
He did say something, but.
Yeah, I need about, real short, about
Okay.
5 minutes, but I will need another executive session.
Not coming back to vote. And you're not coming back.
We're not coming back to vote. No. That's all I have, sir.
Register comments.
Nope.
If you have any.
Citizens' comments, non-agenda items. Okay. Now,
Hearing none, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.